everybody, and welcome back to Gay2k. I'm Sarah, and today with me is John Paul.
Hello, everybody. Howdy, howdy, ho. Here we go. Hold down.
So we're going to talk about some famous cancellations, but did you hear, or actually you're the one that reminded me about some of the current ones going on. I'm still confused about the Doechii hating cats, Doechii being anti-cat, and that being worthy of cancellation. Doechii cat.
Cat. Okay. First off, title of episode, Doechii cat. But it's an exciting time in the season of cancellations, because we always got to be canceling. We can never stop canceling. So I need you to brief me about Doechii cat, that Doechii cat gate, because what's going on in my community right now is Chapel Roan. We are deciding, are we burning her at the stake or not? Are we sacrificing, or are we going to stick with Chapel? And she is in a crucible right now. And it's all because of this reputation that she's kind of developed as, that she stands up for herself, that she's assertive in her autonomy, that she has boundaries,
Absolutely.
That's why I'm just like, it's long-winded to explain it, because I'm just like, well, actually, it's like she's just advocating for herself.
So I heard that part of it, I mean, like her being blunt or abrupt with fans and putting up boundaries has been an ongoing narrative for her. But part of what's new about the narrative, right, is that she ditched her PR firm because there were some ties to the files.
Oh my goodness, yes. I guess, we can.
So she doesn't have the same people like protecting her off from that kind of narrative running wild, I guess. Or maybe even they're pushing the narrative against her. Speculative, I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm speculating that, because Chapel... Okay, here's the thing about Miss Chapel Roan. I do think that she is a singular talent. I think she is generational. I think the music hits because it's good. Talent is talent, and I think that's why there's people that we talk about still and people that we just don't. And I do think Chapel, and I think we were searching for that, because immediately when she came out, it was like, it's the new Lady Gaga, which, I thought was like, hold on, everybody stop. Gaga is still being Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is still figuring that out. We don't know what a Lady Gaga actually is, right? It's happening. And so I think Chapel had the energy where it was like, I'm definitive. I can stand up. I can be representative of people. And the songs are good. But you're exactly right. Like, there's no one watching out for our Chapel now, because she did step away from her representation. So hold the line, a Pink Pony Club. You have to.
Yeah, we have to be there. If you're supporting her, you need to be supporting her big time right now. I would also say, the Doechii stuff, it's like she very recently came out as like a lesbian, whereas before she was like queer or bi. So her clarifying her sexuality and then like 2 weeks later being like, I hate cats. I think some of the community is like, what?
Okay, well, like, did she just tweet, I hate cats? Because that's what it sounded like to me just now.
Basically, I don't have the exact, but it was really just like, I've never been a cat person. I don't like cats. I don't understand cat people. It was, but it was really not that harmful. And somebody was like, it wasn't harmful at all on the surface. Okay. And then somebody was like calling her out on it. And she's like, I don't know why you guys, here's where it gets, she like digs her heels in. I don't know why you're defending cats. They're like soulless creatures. They don't love back. She like dug her heels in on the stereotypes, right? And then the lesbian community and the cat lover community was like, this is harmful. This is why cats are homeless. So there are like all these like memes floating around in the lesbian community that are like, Doechii, the reason cats are homeless. It's sad that cats are homeless, okay? One artist is not the reason why cats are homeless. And maybe, yes, there needs to be somebody that's like, I'm so pro cat, I'm going to correct these stereotypes. But if that's not Doechii, if she's not feeling the animal, she's not going to like put in the work. And that's okay because honestly,
Yeah.
cats are okay. Cats are gonna be cats with or without the approval of this one hip hop star. Like,
Absolutely. And, before I go any further, I must disclose that I am Team Dog. I am Team Dog through and through. I have my best friend right here, my son, my firstborn,
I think.
next to me at all times, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, I think for Dochi, I think what this is Dochi's like, no, I'm being me. I'm a lesbian. And guess what? I hate cats. And you have to accept it. You have to 100%. Why are you arguing? Why are you fighting? Because I think Dochi is so, like, confident that Dochi's afraid of nothing. And if people, and for me, if people who can, like, make such, like, strict accusations, boundaries, like, you can't deviate from this path, and your deviation is hard. Like, Dochi don't like cats, and that's great because
Right, yeah.
Dochi might care about another thing that nobody cares about at all. Right?
Right.
So
And she gets to be whoever she wants to be. Neither one of these situations, based on what I know right now, and I don't see a whole lot of new information coming out, is going to deter me from being a fan of either of these artists that we've talked about today.
absolutely, I'm glad that
Um,
we were able to, like, in case anybody wanted us, don't even try to pay us to talk about these legends, okay? Because we will not, we will never. We are standing on solid ground.
Speaking of legends that have been canceled, we are going to talk about Katie Lang and her cancellations. But before we get there, I want to talk about the Chicks in 2003 because for me that was the first time I was aware that like cancellation was a thing or that like people would try to get rid of an artist's work or like stop listening to them because of something they said. And we've talked about this a lot, right? 2003 is post 9/11. So patriotism is so high in America. And the Chicks rolled into Dublin and said, oh, by the way, we're from Texas and we're ashamed our president is from there too. That's not the exact quote, but it was around that they said like we're from Texas, but we're ashamed of our president too. And then the crowd there went crazy, and somebody was recording it for the news there, and that clip made it over the pond by the time they got back, and they were already canceled on all of the country radio stations. There was like I remember news clips of like radio stations, and I was in Florida at the time, being like, bring your Dixie Chicks CDs and burn them because it was like right before I'd moved to
Oh yeah.
um,
Oh my gosh.
Omaha.
Yeah. Oh, I vividly remember this time. And so I think, so my experience, I think one thing about this podcast is I think we can really, like, set a picture for what life was like at the turn of the millennium.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as, millennials, we're sorry that's all we talk about, because there was this
There's
moment where,
just
like,
so much going on in the
things
2000s.
shifted. It was just like, nope, the cards flipped over. Cards are flipping over. And so I think before 9/11, there was this, like, futuristic, like, we are the world. Anything is possible. We're going, to the future. And then after 9/11, it's like, America only. It's the only thing. It's all it's about. And the
Mm-hmm.
Dixie Chicks were, like, at that time, our, like, leading export. Like, this is the Dixie Chicks. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they were queens. Like, they were, like, if we're making analogies, they were Lady Gaga-ing before, like, so, like, they were
Right.
becoming that. They were, like, they're playing in Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Europe. They are traveling
Mm-hmm.
the world tour. They were the
Right.
only good thing about America at that point, right?
That's such a I don't know. I don't know. I love the Chicks as they now refer to themselves. I went to see them live when I was in like 8th grade or something. Um they were huge and they were genre bending before, well, not before because Shania Twain was already doing it, but they were part of that big genre bend. And to then say something that was the thoughts of many people but not publicly said about the president and get canceled was really, really, really like a jarring twist of fate. And I remember being like, I'm still listening to them. Like, I mean,
Goodbye Earl. Yeah, no, like, we were still, like, bopping to Goodbye Earl. You could not get me to not, like, play that song because I thought they were fun. They felt like Dixie aside, and they did retcon that. I think they did, feel safer than what was like an alternative American narrative where it was just like, I'm just singing with these blonde women and they killed her husband, and that's, because he deserved it.
Right. Yes. But before that cancellation, I wasn't aware of Katie Lang's. I was aware that Katie Lang was out. And I remember seeing is it Vanity Fair? Cyndi Lauper is shaving Katie Lang.
Oh my God, Cindy Crawford. Cindy Crawford.
Yes, Cindy Crawford.
Cyndi Lauper. I gotta pause.
Okay, let me do a retake. Okay.
No,
okay,
well, keep it. I love that. I'm gonna Photoshop that because that is
Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper in a bathing suit. You're right. No, that's a very different image. It was Cindy Crawford. That's a different kind of hot. I'm all for a retake of Cyndi Lauper in a bathing suit, giving either way it works. Cindy Crawford in a red bathing suit, shaving Katie Lang's, non-existent facial hair.
So good, like that. I remember, like, I think as like I just knew I was gay from the beginning. Like I was just like, I like boys, whatever. But I remember that being like, what?
You're like, wait, I like boys, but this is confusing. Wait a minute.
Like, oh, you're telling me that's a girl?
That's a girl? That's kind of, yeah, I get that.
But yeah, no, I think that's, if we're ever doing like iconography, that is up there. And the Cyndi Lauper version. I'm going to make you one. Don't worry.
Yes. You work your magic in your graphic designs and make me. But even before she was on that cover, getting her face shaved, she was canceled in her hometown of Alberta, and they were burning her because she was a vegetarian. They were burning the sign that said, "Welcome to the home of Katie Lang."
Oh, no.
Because
my God.
she did this meat stinks campaign where she's like kissing cows and like saying, just being
it's
such
the
a
cutest.
cute,
It's the cutest
cutie.
It's the cutest video. Of course I just watched it because we were talking about it, and I didn't okay, so for me, the whole Katie Lang of it all is that you did have this just beautiful, androgynous, confusing ingenue, like just this, and she was defying like just your expectations, subverting gender and I think people were accepting that. I think everyone kind of knew like, oh yeah, Katie, they're gay. Like I think people knew that. They didn't want to talk about it,
right?
Like,
yeah,
but that's our girl and she looks damn good, like I think but the moment that Katie spoke out against the meat industry, what happened was
which was like the entire financial income for her region and most of the Midwest.
Oh no,
where her fans were. So yeah, the meat industry came for her.
Well, absolutely, because that Katie led herself to the slaughter because she was like, I will be the scapegoat. And now this whole town can be like, the reason why nobody's buying beef is because this lesbian is telling people that they shouldn't eat them. And actually, like, even then, like, it didn't even get, like, because she did come out shortly after that, but it was, for me, it was even, there was a subtle acceptance of her sexuality, but because of the, transgression against me, it's like, we got to nuke her. Just got to get rid.
Right.
Like,
it's the Rosie O'Donnell effect, right? Like you can be in this glass closet as long as you don't have political opinions that differ from the mainstream ideology, right? And that's the same reason when Rosie had to start coming out was because she had to be political, and I think that's the same thing that kind of happened to Katie Lang. She got political, and then it was like, well, I'm already banned from country music, kind of, so why don't I just go ahead and in 1992 come out on The Advocate and tell them specifically, I do like girls, and so
No, yeah, and I think that's, all really great artists understand controlling the narrative in a sense of that you have the power to, speak for yourself, and how do you use these platforms to get your message across. And I think, just looking at, Katie's music, just this brilliant musician that has a viewpoint and has a story to tell is going to like carry that throughout their entire existence. Like I just look at, she's retired now, but she's happy. She's like, everything's wonderful,
Yeah.
And so just to have, that immense body of work and those experiences and to be at a point in life where you're content and not feeling like, because as an artist myself, I understand like this passion for creation and then be like, I'm satisfied. Like, wow, you must have done some good stuff.
Yeah. And I think too, like, I mean, she's opened the door and redefined the genre. And, like, I think sometimes, just like everything else, it's a pendulum where it's going to swing more conservative. But then, we have like these outliers along the way when it does swing more liberal who kind of pop out and do their own thing. And I think, I do want to talk about two artists that I think exist because Katie Lang existed. But before we talk about that, I do want to also go back and talk about like Katie Lang wasn't the first queer country artist either. I mentioned Lavender Country to you, and you were like, "Oh yeah, Lavender Country." So
hold on, I need to grab my prop. Sorry.
Okay. Ooh, I love your vinyl collection.
Oh, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is Lavender Country. So this was an album written by Patrick Haggerty, who recently passed, probably I think 2 years ago now. But I came across this album in 2018. I think just as every queer person does, you go and look for, well, who was, especially as like an artist, it's like, well, who is writing about, homosexuality, right? And Patrick Haggerty did, 1973. So this album was actually originally released in 1973 by Gay Community Social Services. So it was, just an artist who was like, I have songs to sing about my personal experiences, and I think it wasn't, it wasn't trying to be anything it wasn't. And I think Patrick also knew the importance of like, organizing and coming together, and that at this time to create this physical product, like that took money from people,
Yeah.
And, if the corporations are the only one that have the money, they're not going to waste the money on this. And that's, not so much as, yes, homophobia, but also just like, oh, no one's going to buy the gay record at all.
Yeah.
But I did, and I continue to do. Just one of my favorite songs on here, crying these cocksucking tears. So that was a bop in like 2018. And then actually, Patrick, he went on tour again. He played, I believe it was Brothers, shortly before it closed.
Wow.
And so, and he was just like, I'm just so happy that everyone likes my music, just so like humble. And, I think, I don't believe he really did much besides this. I'm not too much of a historian, but
I mean, there isn't a whole lot of information out there on him other than that. And I think that's okay. I think sometimes people are known for that one thing and they can be private the rest of the time, right? We just talked about people being
Absolutely.
private. So.
And so just the lavender of it all. So this reminds me that there was all woman lesbian band from Omaha, Lavender Couch, that performed in town in the 90s. And I believe their album is available to listen to at the Queer Omaha Archives. So you can log on to that. Maybe we'll put the link, link in the bio.
Yeah.
No, it's just really cool to kind of just see how music has always been kind of like the the language of the outlaw, right? So if you are on the margins, if you're gay, you're like, if you're gonna pick up a guitar, you're gonna sing a song about it. So, cheers to them.
Yeah. Um, let's talk a little bit more about Katie Lang's aesthetic, because you said, androgyny, but that's like such it's androgynous to us now. I think it was hard masculine
Oh
in the
yeah,
country world at the
absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
I think Katie Lang is inherently androgynous. I think when we look at they bring androgyny to it. But I think the pantsuits, and the just everything of it was so very
Well, when I watched my Meet Stinks video,
mhm.
like this is just like the instinctual, like he's cute, like, and that's not
Mhm.
even like trying to place, gender identity pronouns on nobody, but that is what the aesthetic is definitely giving, and I think
Mhm.
that is what part of voice aside, lyrics aside, like musicality aside, and then you're serving this look like I think sometimes people like you know people in Alberta who got mad or were jealous, that's where like this can switch so quickly to
Yeah.
where one minute we love you because you are so unique, and if we feel betrayed, well, we could take you out, pretty one, and that's like that's just the burden of being sometimes so amazing, Katie. Like, sorry they
Mhm.
did that to you, but yeah, no, what a looker.
Yeah. And Constant Craving was on the album Ingenue, which came out around the same time that Katie Lang came out of the closet, and is the song that you know of when you think of Katie Lang. But the the catalog is deep, so deep
Oh
and
yeah.
so good. And
Well,
just
constant craving. Like if I were to do like a ABCs of like gay songs, see constant craving because it's also double alliteration. Like, so it's 2 points. But I think it's just the constant craving, just that like that paling embarrassment because I don't want to embarrass myself. But that gets stuck in my that's stuck in my head a lot of the time because it's a yearning and it's persistent and it's like
there's a lot of sad
yeah.
there too. I was listening to Katie Lang like all day yesterday, and I was like, why am I so sad? Why why do I feel so down? And then I was like, oh right, because I was in that place. I was deep in those feelings with Katie Lang for a little bit. Um, and it's
uh
good. It's good to go and revisit those moments where you can kind of feel what the person is feeling, especially now that like, when you're in a place that's like safe and you're no longer craving things you can't have and those kinds of things, and be able to listen to those songs and kind of revisit that feeling for yourself. And I think Katie Lang is just a good safe space to explore that kind of self-discovery or rediscovery.
yeah,
So
and that's I think that's just a testament to the good music. I don't
mhm.
think if it was not good it would it would disappear. My my other introduction to Katie Lang was through her 2016 album Case Lang Veers that she recorded with Nico Case and Laura Veers, and
Mhm.
there's my favorite song on there is Honey and Smoke, and that's Katie Lang classic. So if you love Constant
That
Craving,
is, I love, yeah, I do
yeah,
love Honey
if you
and
love
Smoke.
Constant Craving, go buy you some Honey and Smoke. Listen to Case Lang
Hmm.
Veers, and it's just one album, and it's just I don't know if you listen to much. Nico Case is one of my most favorite artists.
I believe you introduced me to Nico Case when we were like 16.
Oh
I
yes,
feel
okay.
like it's, yeah, it's been a
uh,
thing.
and so yeah, so when this collab dropped, like I was devastated. I was like, please, I'm so young. Why did you have to murder me with this amazing album? But it's so good. It's so mature in like a way that I don't know, I think as like elder, like as we get older, like
Hmm.
what are these familiar sounds and how do we, navigate as like almost 40-year-olds or 40-year-olds, like so yeah, I recommend that album is a must.
For me, Brandi Carlile is a huge part of my listening repertoire, and the impact on Katie Lang on her is so evident, not just in the visual styling with the tailored suits and the slick back hair, but vocally, you can tell. She's even said, I think in her memoir, she talked about like mimicking her voice and learning to kind of sing from listening to others like Elton John and Katie, and
Hmm.
like you can definitely hear her in Katie Lang's influence in Brandy's voice. What's interesting about Brandi, though, especially compared to Katie Lang, she's 4 years older than us. So when we were 10, she was 14. That I'm Gay cover from Ellen DeGeneres that we've talked about on this
Hmm.
podcast. She saw it in the grocery stores and was like, "Oh, yep, that's me." And she came out right then. Not like right then. Not she wasn't like I'm gay. But she came out shortly after and was out throughout all of high school like we were. She talks about how she wasn't going to the dances and wasn't, doing all of those things, but like her peers knew. One tragic story from her memoir is that she was going to get baptized at 16, and the preacher was like, nope, you're gay, like you can't do this. And so I think it's really interesting to kind of see how these moments that shaped us also kind of shape these, in my opinion, mega stars of their genre.
Hmm.
So yeah, like she never had to come out in the music world because it was and it was just something that she was already open about. And her song lyrics, she was writing about the female pronouns right away, so I think without Katie
Yeah.
Lang, we don't get to that place. We don't get to that place where indie artists can work their way into the mainstream while singing about women, unless we had Katie Lang first.
Yeah,
um,
no. Wow, just that story you shared. I didn't know that. I think I can relate to that definitely as someone who like everyone told me I was gay before I had like full confidence in like
mhm.
that, and so to even know that she was attempting to walk a certain path, and they're like, actually, I think things happen in mysterious ways, and I think for someone who is so talented, like maybe this is the path you have to walk, the
Mhm.
path that someone like Katie Lang, persevered of being an open, honest storyteller and performer and icon. I do think we're turning to a point where the people that have influence and power, it matters if they're good people, and I think
Mhm.
that definitely that sort of I don't know Brandy personally to like be like she's the greatest, but from what I know, I definitely can see someone who is carrying themselves with some responsibility, and that I
Yeah,
like.
I
I'm
think
like, okay,
that's,
I
yeah,
respect that. Yeah.
more than fair to say. She has charities that all the time are working towards causes. I mean, right now she's dedicated over 600,000 of her recent tour proceeds to help um, people who have lost family members from the recent ICE deportations. So yeah, she's an amazing woman, and
Everybody stream Brandy Carlisle right now.
she is
Stream
a
it.
queero to say the least.
I
So
did like I really kind of just know her from her SNL performance with Elton John.
mm,
That was good. That was good. So, yeah, Showman, love it.
hmm I saw her live. I was already a fan, or at least listening. I saw her live a few years ago. She opened for Pink here in Omaha, and it was like 80 degrees outside. It was, or not 80. It was might have been, it was hot. It was
Mm.
like way hotter than 80. It was like a heat warning kind of day. And Pink is like her whole set, like Pink was like taking off clothes and standing in front of fans, and Brandy's like still in like a full suit singing in the hottest weather ever. And I'm just like, that is a dedication to an image. Like, you're like, you
Yeah.
know what? Like, this is just this one day. I'm gonna get through it. I'm not letting my aesthetic waste.
Oh, no, absolutely. Well, because it's also you have to consider people will be taking pictures of you,
Hmm.
so that like, and that could be her armor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
so, but no, definitely, I totally could like. I gotta look good because all these people are gonna get their phone out, you know. So, oh man, no, that I'm sorry I missed that show. That must have been so much
It
fun.
was a lot of fun. I don't
Did Pink fly
even.
over
Oh yeah,
everyone?
full on. There, I got the Tinkerbell experience and it was at the ballpark, so it was like outside and
They could have
yeah.
just like put like Pink on a baseball and just like hit a home run with her like that. Just send her flying. I know.
Hmm.
Love Pink. Love
I
Pink.
think yeah, when you're talking about like yeah caliber performers and like Pink is one of those people who has like worked really hard to perfect her craft and her whole Cirque du Soleil merged vibe. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
that's
So
her.
put a
So
pin in this. We do need to do a Pink episode because I think Pink was doing so much heavy lifting for gay boys back in the day with her first and second album. Like that
mhm.
was like
You're right.
misunderstood, got me through, just like a pill. What do I
Mm.
know about being just like a pill? What the dude? It's a 9-year-old. No, how old was I? I was a little older
We
than that.
were and
What is a
sometimes yeah.
2-year old? No. When my mom was listening to Pink and I was in her stomach.
Oh my God. It feels like that though. She has been there for us for forever.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I mean I don't have I mean it's just interesting. Like you can't really say like, oh, Brandi Carlile hasn't struggled because I'm sure she has, but she has also thrived in being the outsider. And I think that's a lane that Katie established and is like, you know, like she's not a country music star. Brandi Carlile has basically reinvented. She did what JoJo Siwa wishes she could have done with gay pop, and as she made queer Americana a genre, and has Brandy has made her own little like bubble of artists, and she continues to reach out to artists.
Okay, first off, I don't disagree with you. Second, I will not stand for shots fired at JoJo just because JoJo invented gay pop. Okay, it was an accident. It's like Flubber. She didn't mean to. It just happened. But no, I think about Brandy. Yeah, no, I think that's why she's like hanging out with Elton John. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's this caliber of, musician that will be genre defining because they will define the genre. They will define what other people are going to do,
Mm-hmm.
not out of like, any sense of superiority. But like there is, so many great factors going in that like let's follow Brandy. Let's just see where she goes.
For sure. Another artist that I have seen live that I think Katie Lang opened a door or two for is Orville Peck. I don't know a whole lot about Orville Peck's career specifically, but I think you can see that like rockabilly outsider um, swagger that Katie Lang has kind of echoed in his performance. And he
Mm.
expands on the performance and kind of takes it to a new level. Um, yeah.
Okay, I will say in typical gay guy fashion, my criticisms come out of jealousy of his success, I'm sure. However, for me, Orville Peck is a study, is a it's studied. It's like if someone were to say, what was Katie Lang? I can put on this suit. And to where I think Katie was the cowpunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Defined it, has her name up in town. Orville Peck, I'm going to put on this armor worn by those before me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to wear it for the rest of my life. And I'm going to be in Street Fighter, and it's going to be an homage to my persona because the persona has now grown metaphysical. The persona
Mm-hmm.
exists in other universes now, which I don't know as
Well,
gay rights. I think it's cool, but I don't think we'd be like, gay rights. I'm like, hold on. Like, let's
mhm.
not like just jump there just yet. That's my take.
No, I think that's yeah, I it's a caricature kind of and I think that's okay. I think it can be. I do like I like the sound. I like listening to his music. The live performance was great.
Yeah, no, I think for me,
That's where it is.
it's for, as you know, as I always go back to Lady Gaga, just because I do. I think, and other artists like Madonna, other artists like Elton John, there you see an evolution in the work, in their presentation and their performance. I do feel like Orville Peck has been a set it and forget it for a few years, to where Sia got away with not showing her face, but guess what? Sia's not doing anything anymore. Like, I think that's part of Sia's magic, was that she was like, if I don't have to show my face, I can exit this anytime I want. Where I feel like Orville's like, I'm here, but you'll never see me. Like, and I think that, like, as a gay person, I'm so used to being like, you have to see me, I have to rip my heart out for you to, like, accept me.
Yeah.
I can't call that gay rights, because I'm just like, actually, it's just hiding. It's just like, but he's hot when he takes his clothes off. Like, that's enough. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get us. The Orville Peck fans are going to be so mad at us.
Orville Peck. I mean, after Cyndi Lauper instead of Cindy Crawford, me saying Orville Peck instead of Orville Peck is a footnote.
Doechii Cat and Orville Peck. Okay, sorry. No,
it's so good.
I digress. I'm like, again, and this is just gay creative jealousy. So
this is just friends goofing on each other too. So, oh god, oh no, I was gonna say something about Cabaret, because in Cabaret he didn't wear a mask, but he wore like full face paint, and I think that's funny too. Like, we can get away from the mask, but your face is still covered in something, so whatever.
Daniel Petout is a theater kid. That's great. Like, and I support that. I am a theater kid myself. You know, that's no shade,
right.
Just critique. That's all it is. It's just artistic critique.
Yeah.
So.
What did you think of? I mean, we're talking about cowboys. We're talking about cowboy aesthetics. We've got a Beyonce Renaissance coming up. What did you think of Cowboy Carter and its effect on the queer aesthetic? Did it have an effect in your community?
Oh my gosh. So, okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, because yes, I think the thesis can be that, you know, cowboy core is definitely like the aesthetic of the early 2020s. I think, you know, you have Chappell Roan, Pink Pony Clubbing. So Pink Pony Club came out in 2020. Like,
yeah, you're right.
That was like, you know, her Dancing with a Meatball at the club. Like, she was ahead of that. And so Cowboy Carter comes out in 2024. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So Cowboy Carter came out in 2024, but for me, you know, and this is, you know, credit to Orville, no shots fired here, where I think he was also part of that cowboy aesthetic, this outlaw, this Western, and I think it was definitely at a time where I think, you know, living in any country can be complicated, I'm sure, right? So I think you're going to want to try to find some pride in that, or some, you know, patriotism, and I think, you know, the taking of, say, cowboy aesthetic, cowboy culture for the queer community, I think is powerful and it's liberating. And so I think about Beyonce. Beyonce has an amazing creative director. An amazing gay guy is behind Beyonce's aesthetics. Like, you didn't hear it from me. I heard it from someone else. And so I think definitely understood where, like, because like even Renaissance was even like there was a horse in Renaissance, you know. So, you know, you get you put rhinestones on a cowboy hat, country, you know. So I think this was this natural evolution of just, you know, if Beyonce had Renaissance, it's everyone going out into the streets. Cowboy Carter is everybody getting locked and loaded, right? So
right,
it's like,
absolutely.
We're getting ready for battle. Act 3 is the battle, everybody. Like, that's, you know, going to be her rock album, where it's going to, you know.
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting because, like, if I look at what Act 1 was, I feel like she tried to be like, this is an album for the gays. But really, Cowboy Carter was for the gays. It's interesting how, like, she's like, I'm gonna make a house album and the gays are gonna love it. And we're like, yeah, that's nice. Oh, but Cowboy Carter. That's...
I will say Cowboy Carter, like, I respect it, but it just did not like hit for me as much. It's like Renaissance I Renaissance pilled like that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just like, I need a break. I gotta sit this one out. Like 16 Carriages. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I gotta listen to something else. Like it's. I don't know what I like. I think it's something I'll definitely come back to, but I think, and then for me, it is just the complexity of like putting something with an American flag. Because I'm like, do I got like this flag on my iTunes now? Like, there's still just that little level of that where, I think, and okay, so there's a Beyonce wore a shirt, and I don't even know the full thing of it, but essentially she wore a cowboy inspired shirt, and it referenced like I think a cowboy group or militia group. See, I don't even know the full context, but it was they were advocating for the murder of Native Americans, and so she's wearing this shirt. So this is an endorsement, right? And so I think that's when you start playing with this, cowboys and Indians aesthetic.
Right. No, that's a very good point.
Like, it's so quickly to be like, oh, if we're all dressed up as sheriffs, who are we policing? That's what I was just like, what? Like there needs to be. It did feel militaristic in a way, but I think maybe that's just the aesthetics.
Well, it's a glorify. Yeah. Anytime you glorify American history, you run into the chance of glorifying death and murder, because that's just American history, and you have to be really aware of how you approach it. And
I couldn't tell you a country or place where there wouldn't be a complex narrative around like parading that flag around. I don't know. Maybe
to bring
Brazil.
It back,
I'm
gonna bring it back to Brandi Carlile, because she played on the band Highwaymen, which was the old outlaw country group that had like Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson. She called it the Highwomen. Yep, the Highwomen. Exactly why you think it is. And they have this song that's just about these little vignettes in history of the perspective of a woman who was ahead of her time. There was a woman who wanted to be a preacher and was killed for it. There was a woman on the bus in the 60s who was a Black woman. And, there's just like these little vignettes, and she has lots of like guests on it. Look up The Highwomen. That's an incredible little album project that she did with other people. And that's
I love a supergroup. I love a supergroup. So give me your supergroups.
Yes, absolutely. That's if we're throwing out recommendations for the day, that Brandi Carlile's The Highwomen project is definitely something you should check out. And the Canada Supergroup album is something I've listened to before, but I will listen to again because it is
Case Lang Veers. My one critique is like, because it's just their last names, and it's not a really fun thing to say. Which again, I don't think they gave a book. I think they honestly were just like, let's just hang out and have fun, make an album that like we can, get some coin from, like that's what you should be doing with your friends, making projects, super groups.
That's what we are. We are a super group.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, wait till we get Doechii Cat and Orville Peck on tour. Our super group is starting.
Oh man, Orville Peck would be such a good drag king name.
We should probably make sure that Orville Peck is not already trademarked before I start making merch. So,
oh man,
but Doechii Cat.
Doechii Cat. It's such an easy.
Do you think you were getting Doja Cat?
Yeah, I think my brain was like Doechii and Cat. Doechii Cat Crisis, Doja Cat, and then it came out Doechii Cat.
Okay, let's. What do you think of Doja Cat? Let's just give me.
I haven't paid attention to Doja Cat in a while. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know
in a while.
I mean, like, I listen to the stuff that's on the radio, and I remember her, similar to Chappell Roan, being like, these fans are too much. Let's pull back from fandom, right? Like, let's
Mm-hmm.
Let's pull up
Yeah.
Brandi Carlile and go build a commune in the woods with my best friends and have a retreat. That's the answer, guys. Have
Oh
a
yeah.
place for you to go where no one else knows where you are but your closest friends.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's the dream. No, not too much to say about Doja Cat. I think you should check Doja Cat out. That's gonna be my recommendation. But yeah, just to give another artist who is constantly battling with the media and the narrative, and has really kind of just shown that. They know how to play the game in a way. Not that I
mm-hmm.
always, again, like, what do I don't know what I disagree with anyone. Like, the things they do. Why do we care? Why do I let them like
Yeah.
impact me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we just want, I think if something like music makes us feel so good, we want to know that it's like coming from a good person. I think that's a reasonable thing. So, um,
Yeah. Well, and it depends. Like, I think you and I talk about this all the time. There are degrees of like fandom, right? Like, how much, like, like with Brandi Carlile, I love her as a person and I love her music. So I go see her live if she's near me. I go and I buy every single CD. I also bought her memoir. I wouldn't do that for Doja Cat.
mm,
Doja Cat or Doja Cat. And that's not like to say that I don't like their music. I'm just not like
mm-hmm.
invested in them as people as well, right? And so that's a distinction that I make, and it has to do with my preference, for not just Brandi as a person, but also her music. But
mm.
who she is plays into that as well, right? It's a package deal. So
And I think as gay people, we also always think that like you must like and know everyone all the time that I like and know all the time. Otherwise, you're not a good gay person. You don't like Doja Cat. This super group is over. you know. Uh,
yeah,
and so no, I think we definitely. But I think that's part of just like in speak language, like in crowd, like not mentality. Like we're not like I'm not judging people for not liking things that I do, but I think there is that like, do you know the things I know? Okay, like we're friends, right? Like
mm-hmm.
it's just that closeness, and I think gay people we gotta stop. We gotta let people not like what they don't like. It's okay.
Right. Well, and I don't know if it was because I was young and because I was like, I don't listen to country music, but like some things, appreciation for some things comes later too. Like Katie Lang didn't really enter my life until my mid 20s. I mean, like I knew the song Constant Craving, but I wasn't like listening to like entire albums, more
Yeah,
than
yeah.
once kind of thing.
Well, I think definitely as
So,
like queer kids, it's we're not looking for like representation as kids. You know what I mean? So it's not like
mhm.
as a young like I think about this with elementary students. It's like I wasn't looking for how do I be a gay man. I need a gay man. I was like, actually, no, I don't. I want to like, there's something else I want to be. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I am,
Mhm.
right? And so
Right.
I think that's where like this like, because I just remember like being averse to like certain things that were perceived as gay as kid, but
Hmm.
definitely as an adult like understanding and appreciating, and also now as an adult I understand that like maybe I'm not going to be like, hey. Here's RuPaul. The kids can be like, "You think I'm gay?" Like
Yeah.
I think that like that is a very like delicate conversation, and I think Brandi Carlile like her she again someone forces stuff which it might be good, it might be bad, I don't know,
I'm
but I
just
think that
suggesting you listen to this
yeah
artist who happens to be.
I think
Yeah.
just understand the impact of what that could be on the person, like so I don't ever want like
Oh,
oh,
and I think
I want
that,
you to know I'm assuming something about you versus like, this
mhm.
is cool, like, I think that's
Yeah.
one thing. Like, oh, I think because, yeah, we're drawn to things that are interest us, not because like, oh, that's like me. That's something that I am.
Well, and I think that goes back to while looking for morals from people and expecting our queer icons to be queeros, like acknowledging that they're not all going to be because we need more of them to get to a place where there are more queeros. And if we're pushing the ones that aren't perfect and don't fit this mold out before they have a chance to influence others, like we're going to lose something along the way, right? Like even if Chappell Roan is nothing but somebody that the next generation can look up to as somebody who was successfully out and making music, same thing with Renee Rapp, right? Like they don't have to be
Yeah.
perfect people. They can exist and make music, and we can be like, wow, that's cool that they exist and make music. I don't know any
Well,
controversies with Renee Rapp right now. I'm not trying to start anything. Um,
well, I was
but
gonna say your opinion might change about Chapel now with my breaking news that I'm going to tell you. This is the other part of why she's being canceled on the internet. I forgot all about it. Not only okay, so the whole bodyguard situation. If you aren't familiar, do you know the bodyguard situation?
the 11-year-old situation with the
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
Okay, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna go into that. Basically, that's old news. But the other thing, people are trying to cancel her for being a nepo baby, which is my favorite discourse. That like her grandfather owned a golf course, and because Chapel came from money, that she's not a real artist. You can't listen to her music. She has nothing of value to say. She has no talent. And so like I don't like so it's just like questioning this working class narrative that I don't think Chapel was really like out here being like
That's
too
not
much.
nepotism has to be in the same industry.
Well,
In my opinion, you can be rich and be inherently given a leg up by being rich. Wow, we're going there. Taylor Swift comes from a fairly well-to-do family, not super rich, not ultra wealthy, but her parents were stable financially, and that allowed her to, at a very young age, be in a place to be making music, right? Like, not
mhm.
everybody has those opportunities. That doesn't impact her talent or the work that she did or anything other than just giving her a little bit of a boost and providing her with a place to do it. Two
Oh no,
things can be
absolutely.
true. So,
Oh no, I agree, and I think maybe we'll define the term nepo baby, but it goes deeper than this. Okay,
okay. You're like, no, actually, even that point's not it. Let's keep digging.
it's like okay,
Okay.
stay seated. Let me explain. No, but then part of it was like okay, this is me just processing in real time at the things I see on the internet, because then it's this people are saying like, oh, Chapel's telling everyone like, yeah, I just went to summer camp, yeah, and I'm just like, I'm so talented. When it was like, actually, it was a $20,000 Grammy camp where she was groomed by the industry, and she's an industry plant, and they've been since she was born. She's had a silver spoon up her ass. That's pretty much what everyone's saying. They're like, oh yeah, Chapel. Her grandpa had a private jet. Like it's like they are
Okay.
like airing out everything. And again, I'm gonna say, hold the line, Pink Pony
Mm-hmm.
Club, because like I like that's her biz. I don't know, like let people have families, let people have like history that is beyond their control. I think that's something
Yeah, I
Chapel
mean, I
can't
think it
retcon
goes.
that.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the music, really. Like, if you are here for the like, if you're here for the music and you like the music, then enjoy the music. And I'm not saying like ignore everything about them. Like, invest less. Like, then don't go see her live or whatever. Like if you whatever. There are degrees of consumerism that we get to
Hmm.
decide upon, but to be like promoting others to when a person hasn't done direct harm to anyone or um, isn't openly promoting harm against anybody. Sorry, I'm now thinking about the poor cats and Dochi. I'm like, but Dochi, Dochi's out here against these poor cats, these homeless cats. Um, I'm gonna say once again that that does not count in the same way. And if you disagree with me, I respect your stance on animal rights. And you cannot listen to Dochi, but in my opinion, like let's just see, right? Because we could be wrong about Chapel. We could be wrong. She could be a horrible person and she could prove us right, but we don't know yet. And she hasn't done anything
Yeah, wait till
directly
this came.
harmful.
Wait till the next album, everyone, because I do think the album is going to be so good that everyone's going to forget. I think also look at what Chapel is speaking up for and the causes that she's like advocating and putting her, her reputation on the line for, right? And so I think don't believe everything you read on the internet. also understand that things can be weaponized, and like information, you can have it, but you don't got to do anything with it. I don't got like, now that I know that, oh, her grandpappy had a couple jets, I'm gonna like not listen to her. I don't know. I think I still go to the Pink Pony Club, you know. Like, I'm taking a private jet to the Pink Pony Club actually. You know. And so stream Chapel Rome and Doechii and Cyndi Lauper and even Orville Peck and Katie Lang.
Yeah, yes, lots of music recommendations from this episode, guys. We enjoyed talking about it, and the truth of outlaw music is that the definition is always going to change, but when queer artists, they're always going to stand more on the outside of the mainstream just inherently, and we have to, I don't want to be like, we have to take care of our queer artists, but if you like a queer artist, I think you should feel like you want to take care of them. I think that's I
was gonna say, even with that, just like the outlaw of it all, and if you don't, then don't, you know. I think at the end of the day, like, everyone can make up their own minds and opinions, but what are you gonna, like, don't waste your energy trying to take Chapel Roan down, you know. Like, if anyone needs a fight, we can find you one, but
there are lots of things.
I think it's better to stream what song, My Kink is Karma. So that's my parting message, everyone. It is, honestly, yeah, Chapel told you her kink is karma, so keep doing it. Keep coming for her, okay?
Or not. I mean, we don't want to get you jinxed by karma.
Oh my gosh. So. No, that... Loaded. Everything you're saying is so loaded.
I know.
I love it. Is that a wrap?
I think that's it for today.
Yeah, friends. Well, thanks, everyone. I'm going to give a plug for the Substack.
Yeah.
Gay2k podcast.substack.com. We're just posting our episodes, our videos, and I think at this point we'll have already released our exclusive mini-series recap. So I didn't want to talk about it yet because it's still so, like, yeah, this is coming out later.
Yeah, it'll be fun, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out on the social medias as well, and we've got more exciting things on the way.
Bye, be gay.
Bye. Keep it gay.